wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before. I like me better, I like me better.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I asked in a previous video if you guys want to see this and you said yes. So today I'm talking about brands that I just feel do not know what to do anymore as far as what they're putting out, how to attract people to their products, all that type of stuff. So you guys want to know my thoughts and who I'm talking about, let's go. So I really feel like at this point, the brands I'm about to talk about are just doing anything. They're either not doing anything or they're doing anything to get people to want to shop with them. The first one, Urban Decay. When I tell you Urban Decay is going to run naked palettes into the ground, and we've talked about this before, I feel like most brands have that thing that they're known for. It becomes their iconic, their legend product. So they're always going to push it. Like, you're always going to see Urban Decay pushing naked palettes. You're always going to see BH Cosmetics pushing the Take Me Back to Brazil. You're always going to see Fenty pushing the Pro Filter foundation because those are there. It sold really well. There's a very strong fan base. There's a very strong customer base that's always going to purchase this product. That is the naked palette for Urban Decay. I get that. The problem is Urban Decay does not want to give anything else that they have the same type of energy. So the only thing they have to rely on is the naked palettes. And if you we've talked about this before as well, if you watch declutter videos and stuff like that, naked palettes are sometimes the first thing to go when people are decluttering eyeshadow palettes, just because they've had a makeup collection for a long time. They've learned as makeup wearers how to do better and look better, and they realize there are other things that perform better. So it's do I really need to keep this naked palette? And you look at the other stuff that that Urban Decay has. They have that Born to Run collection. They have the big one. They've done little small travel size ones, but then it just kind of plateaus, right? They've done the Vice lipsticks. You see a little promotion. They were a little poppin' back in the day, but then it plateaus. The complexion products, the foundations, they have a concealer, they've got powder, they've got all of that stuff. And you can find, that's what stinks, because you can find hidden gems with Urban Decay, but it all plateaus because they're gonna focus on, yes, we gave you guys the naked palettes and it's not going anywhere. We're always going to be here with naked palettes. They ran out of ideas when it comes to the naked palettes, that they started giving you colored naked palettes. They started giving a red, a Heat. Remember when Heat came out? And that was a moment in itself. At some point, I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if there was a blue naked palette theme, but I think there was. There was a green one, there was the honey one, a yellow one. They're gonna give you the whole rainbow in a naked palette version. When when it started, they were neutral palettes. They were browns, pinks, all that other stuff. But they were going to keep it going, so they started giving you colored naked palettes and whatnot. And it's just what are we doing? What are we doing at this point, Urban Decay? They're one of the, you're just doing anything, but kind of nothing at the same time. So, if Urban Decay wanted to do something, if Urban Decay has run out of ideas and they do not know what to do, I have a suggestion, right? Now, granted, they don't have to take anything that I say in this video if anyone ever comes across, and you guys would be surprised. They definitely coming across my videos. Why? Because they reach out and tell me that they saw these videos. So if anyone, ran out of ideas, needs something to do, I'm going to suggest something that is still going to allow you to put out a naked palette. Because I know y'all not moving away from that. So I am going to suggest how you can still put out another naked palette, right? So I know you're already foaming at the mouth. But still give something different that people would actually be interested in. What if, just a suggestion, what if you guys put out a naked palette that was actually saturated with the shades that are in it? What if you gave us a saturated naked palette that focused on neutrals, browns, all that? The ones in the Born to Run palette, make it real easy for y'all. The neutrals, the browns, the golds, whatever, that are in the Born to Run palette, put those in a naked palette. That way, have the same packaging, have the same concept, all that stuff, but you'll have shades, someone my complexion can actually wear. If you guys have paid attention to some of the declutter videos people have put out in the past, that is one of the reasons that they have decluttered it, because they realize, you know, I can get more pigmented, more saturated, so it doesn't show up so cool toned, so ashy on some skin tones. I feel like a lot of the Naked palettes are more on the cool side, and even the ones that aren't supposed to, again, when you start getting like deeper shades like me and deeper, it starts looking a little more ashy, a little more cool, even when it's not supposed to. So what if you gave like a real nice, rich, pigment, saturated Naked palette? Now, if you guys remember what happened when ABH put out the Jackie palette, and of course it's Jackie Aina, so it was put out with the intention of having more saturated, more rich eyeshadow palettes. It did really well, right? It also did really well because it's Jackie Aina. It did really well. And if you guys remember the fairer skin tones, some of them were like, well, I can't use this because it's too rich in pig. You could always just, you know, use a lighter hand when using those. But even fairer skin tones were saying, I love this Jackie Aina palette because it's so pigmented, because I can do this type of eyeshadow with it and do that type of eyeshadow with it. And again, it'd be something that you guys like really haven't done before. So you could do that, and then like I said, you can still get the whole Naked imagery with it. Didn't they like have a funeral for one of their Naked palettes? Like, I think the first Naked palette. If you guys remember that, there was like a whole little promo thing from, the only thing I really remember is Shayla, but they had like a whole little funeral type thing. Look at this. It's giving you the lead way into bringing it back and making it like a more rich version, right? You get buzz because it's something that's already popular for your brand. You could show an improvement with the actual formula of the products. Just something to think about, but you know, I'm just saying. Now, the next brand that I am just convinced does not know what to do anymore is Too Faced. And I think I mentioned that when I said you guys want this video because I wanted to talk about this. I've wanted to talk about it for a good little minute. I am convinced Too Faced does not know what to do anymore. If you guys also remember, I did a video not too long ago talking about how like the creator of Too Faced walked away. So they are like going through a change right now, probably like new ownership, new management, new just ideas and whatnot in the company. But in recent years, I feel like Too Faced has, in the eyes of the especially online beauty community, Too Faced has become Claire's makeup. If you guys remember, Claire's makeup is the makeup that you buy like kids, the makeup that is supposed to attract, you know, people or children, teenagers just getting into makeup. It's what you buy for them when you don't want to spend, you know, when you don't want to spend a lot of money on, you know, like grown-up makeup. So you buy them Claire's makeup so that they can still have the option of playing around and whatnot, but you're not like shelling out money. But the difference is, like, Too Faced's grown-up money prices. It's not like Claire's makeup prices, right? But in the eyes of those people, it has become kiddie Claire's makeup because of the imagery of Too Faced. And it's funny because like back in the day, especially like during the rise of the online beauty community, that was a selling point for Too Faced. Like how cutesy the packaging and the imagery was what was drawing people in. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, back in the day, you know, I liked it because the packaging was cute. Now today, can you still sell me on cutesy packaging and whatnot? Yes. As much? No. And that's the problem. The problem is the people who built the popularity of Too Faced because of that imagery and stuff like that, they're like 30, 40 years old now. And I'm not just talking about creators, I mean creators and consumers. Like the people who, I'm talking like 10 years ago, started the whole like making it such a popular brand because of all that, they're older now. They're getting married, they're having kids, they're doing this. They're not really at the age right now where they're going to shell out on cutesy packaging as much as they were at that time. Like again, 10 years ago, I would have been like fresh out of high school. So yeah, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, all that other stuff, yeah, you know, put a cute little dog on there. I'm like, look at this, you know. At that time, of course, I didn't have the type of responsibility that I do now. So I can create a beauty room where I'm buying stuff because I can put it on display, that type stuff. But your girl is close to 30 at this point, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna think twice now if the only selling point is a cute dog on the packaging. So it's hard for Too Faced because it's like the thing that helped build them is also the thing that is kind of turning away their target audience. And it's like they can't fix it without having to get rid of like one or the other. Because if you think about it, the sun really be getting my last nerve. Like really. Because what was the reason? Because when you think about it, if you say, okay, well, maybe they can just change the imagery. The imagery was one of the things that made them popular. Like the imagery, especially with some of the products, it's one of those like the imagery is the selling point because when you actually open the product, it's not really given, you know, it's not really given that you want to spend $34 for it. So the imagery sells some of it. So they can't really get rid of like revamp and become like a NARS type packaging and stuff like that because how they image themselves as a brand is a selling point for them. And it's like, okay, well, change the target audience. They can't really do that either. And I really hate when people be saying stuff like that. Like start your business out selling stuff at $5 and then gradually you can start selling your stuff like your La Mer. That's not how it works, okay? You make a target audience when you first start the brand, and that's usually who you're going to stick with. And because of the imagery and because of like what they sell, you might not realize this, but they can't change the target audience to who the imagery would attract because that's not who they're trying to sell to. As it may, they're not trying to sell to kids and to teenagers. That's not who their target audience is. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of brands in recent years have created like, not baby, but like younger baby brands, sister baby brands. I know Tarte did, I can't remember the name of it, but I know Tarte did one. I know a couple brands have done that, but you see how the brands, even though they rely on, you know, very cute and whatnot type of, they're creating a whole different brand to sell to a younger target audience because their target audience are grown. They can afford their price range. They can afford that type of stuff. So they don't want to shy away from that because the money isn't in people who, they need permission to buy makeup. You know, they need to rely on someone buying it for them for Christmas or a birthday, or, you know, they have like a job once you hit like 16 and up and stuff like that. So they create a whole different brand for them. So they can't change their target audience and they can't really change their imagery. So what can Too Faced do? A lot of Too Faced cutesy imagery is the eyeshadow palettes, the blush, the lip products and stuff like that. But something that goes like untalked about is Too Faced actually makes pretty good complexion products. The foundation was a hit for Too Faced. The concealer is a hit. I know to this day it's still a lot of people's favorite concealer. The powder was good. They've got good primers. They've got setting sprays. They have really good complexion products. And if you guys are starting to remember, I'll have the pictures popping up on the screen. I'll actually remember to put the pictures on the screen. If you guys remember, the packaging for the complexion products are not as, you know, they're not as childish. They're not as, you guys get the point of what I'm saying. So if Too Faced wanted to do something, because at this point it's like we don't know what to do anymore, they could try focusing on their complexion products where they can still kind of get that, you know, cutesy packaging on the stuff, but they're putting out products and something they also excel in, and it would get people's interest because they're good with complexion products. Even if it is adding more shades to stuff that they already have, or if they want to come out with, you know, a new type of complexion product. You know, I know they've done the Born This Way in matte and, you know, the regular version. If you want to come out with like a whole new collection that could allow you to play around in complexion products, you could do that and then still have the same type of, you know, girly, frilly type of packaging, but you're not buying something like, you know, the blushes come like heart-shaped and stuff like that. Like, I don't care about that. I don't care about that anymore. Like I said, a couple years ago, would I want that because it looks like that? Yes, I would. But I am at the age, I lose every top to every makeup product that I have. Every setting spray, I do not know where the top of the setting spray is. Palettes be falling down, they be shattering. I be holding them together with tape. So I'm at the point I don't really care about that type of stuff. So that's something they could do, that they could like try to dabble in to see if that would get interest up again. Because like I said, they actually did put pretty good complexion products out. And it's like you could give the eyeshadow and the whatnot a rest. But like I said, the chocolate palette and stuff like that, they are a staple product for Too Faced. So yeah, you can still push that, but you'd be giving people something new, giving people something again that you're good at. So just a thought there. Ooh, I feel like y'all should know that I feel this way about this brand, because a lot of people feel this way about this brand, and that is Colourpop. When I tell you, Colourpop does not know what to do anymore. And you know why that is? It's because they've done everything, okay? They've done everything, so Colourpop doesn't know what to do anymore. So it's kind of like Colourpop is just relying on like collabs with things that already have a name for themselves. And it's like, hey, we've got a lab, you've got a name, combine those two together and we can just get people to buy it because, you know, they like the connection between the two. They like playing in makeup, but they also like Harry Potter. So make a collab, there we go. Because they've done everything else. I was going to try to go through and see just how many eyeshadow palettes Colourpop has launched this year. We're only 6.5-ish months into this year. I was going to do that, but then I realized I value my time and sanity, so I'm not going to do that. But I would say from the time that Colourpop had launched their first eyeshadow palette to today, Colourpop has to have at least launched 300 eyeshadow palettes. And I'm being real generous because you guys know, like, the collections, especially the collections, if they're doing like palettes where it's an all yellow palette or an all purple palette, those type of things where they're launching like 9 palettes at the same time, that starts to add up real quickly. And they've been doing this for at least like the last, I don't know, 2-3 years. So I would not be surprised if Colourpop has launched at least 300 eyeshadow palettes. It's like, enough already, we get it. And they're launching palettes where it's like you're definitely just changing the outside of the palette and putting the same color combos in these different palettes. Like, because hello, unless they're creating new colors, like there's only so much you can do. Not too long ago, I saw they were doing like a sports collab type thing where they were coming out with palettes of different basketball teams. So I saw a Lakers one, I saw a Knicks one, I saw the Nets. That's already 3 palettes right there. And like I said, kind of relying on, you're the Nets, we sell makeup, so people who wear makeup that like the Nets are going to see it and they're going to buy it. But it's like, how much can you do that? You know, the Hilary Duff, there was a Mulan, there's been a couple Star Wars, Hocus Pocus, like, what is it doing for you? Like, at the end of the day, how are any of these going to be your chocolate palette, your naked palette, your Tint Idole, your Double Wear? Because like I have to think about it to remember it. And then with every eyeshadow collection that comes out, there's lip liners attached to it, lipsticks attached to it. I don't even know like the specific names of the, like, you know how Fenty will have the heat bombs, gloss bombs, and the Mademoiselles and that stuff. Like, I don't even know the specific names of that stuff for the lip products because, again, it's all just, it's like a word jumble. Like, it's all just thrown out there. You remember what you remember, and then someone else might mention something else, and you're like, oh, that's right. Oh, they did have that. You know, Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. Isn't that what that collection was called? And you're like, oh, yeah, they had that too. I actually just got a package from them, and it had a mascara in it. I don't know if the mascara is new, but I didn't know that Colourpop had mascara. And it kind of stinks that, like, you don't have that type of feeling for Colourpop anymore. If it is new, I mean, I did want to try it, and I will try it. You don't have that feeling for Colourpop anymore where they're a newer brand. So when a newer brand puts out the first of its category, you're excited for it because you don't know how it's going to work. just because like they release so much product. Like Rare Beauty, it's a new brand. They just launched lip liners for the first time, and I was excited. I was like, oh, okay. I like all the other stuff that you guys have launched before, so I kind of want to see what your lip liners are going to give. It's going to be on the same type of quality that the rest of the stuff is given. And you'll get the same when they launch, you know, contour, bronzer, blush. They have, but you guys get the point, right? And you used to have that type of feeling for Colourpop. I remember when they were first launching foundation, it was the talk of the town. When they were launching all that, you can't get that anymore, even if they are still launching new things for the first time. Because like I said, I didn't know that they had a mascara, and I don't know if it's like their first mascara that they're launching and whatnot. But you can't have that because you just think of it as, oh, another Colourpop launch. So with all that being said, what could Colourpop do if they have run out of ideas on what to do? You know how like the entertainment industry is kind of going through this thing where they have also run out of ideas, so they're just rebooting everything. And when I say entertainment, I mean more so like film entertainment. So they're just remaking TV shows, they're remaking movies. You know, they've got Raven's House for That's So Raven. They got Bel Air, I believe is what it's called, for Fresh Prince of Bel Air. They're just remaking all this stuff, bringing back old characters and movies. They're rebooting and remaking this and all that other stuff. They're not really giving you like new content, just like bringing stuff back. Colourpop could do that, but like the makeup version. Because if you guys have also been paying attention, like because they've launched all this stuff, they've also stopped selling a lot of stuff. They've also, you know, like retired a lot of stuff and whatnot. And people are like, are you gonna bring this back? Are you gonna bring that back? Like, you're discontinuing stuff I actually like to put out, stuff I'm not going to buy, I'm not interested in. This is their chance to go into their reboot era because they have launched so much stuff. They can go back in their own bag and start bringing back stuff that people already liked. And at that point, by bringing that stuff back, you are one, getting people who already liked it, who already tried it, to come back and get it again, especially because they weren't able to purchase it beforehand. And two, you're bringing on people who might have started paying attention to the brand after that stuff was discontinued, or they might have started wearing makeup after that stuff was discontinued. So you've got new customers who might want to try it out for the first time, and now they have the chance to because you brought it back. You gotta go back in the bag and like make Super Shocks the point of the brand now. If you guys remember years ago, Super Shocks, like that's really what put Colourpop on. That and the lipsticks, like they really, especially the lip products, they really moved away from the lipsticks being like a selling point for the company. Again, because they put out these like special collection type of palettes out and whatnot. But like the Super Shocks and the lip products is really what put them on. Like it's time to go back to that, okay? Give the eyeshadow palettes a break for a minute. I promise you, you'll be okay. Even if you want to do Super Shocks and color collections still with these collabs and whatnot, okay, put the eyeshadow palettes to bed for a month, like just a month. See how it does. You know, bring them back, call them Mega Shocks. Which one's bigger, Super or Mega? Y'all get the point. The lip products, like bring them back. I remember people saying that they can't wait for this, was it a lip liner? Something like that to come back. I remember there was a bronzer from Colourpop that I liked. It actually worked on my skin tone, but they discontinued it. Bring all that stuff back, all right? Reboot, remake, all that other stuff. Play on people's, you know, heartstrings who cared for this stuff just for a little bit. It also gives you a break from trying to think of new things to come out with, because we see what that thinking has been giving us for like the last year. Yeah, that's something they could do if they were running out of ideas. Now, do I think, I feel like I'm stopped at Colourpop. I could keep going on, but I also feel like I've been talking for a good little minute, and I did not intend to talk your ears off in this video, so I'm going to stop it there. Now, will any of those brands implement any of the things that I just said? Probably not. But y'all know, especially like this is my degree in, so this is the type of stuff that interests me. Those are just my thoughts on some of the brands that I'll be paying attention to. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about where the 3 brands I talked about are right now, what you think they could do, what they could do to be interesting to you right about now. And if you guys want to see like a part 2, because trust me, there are a lot of brands that I feel like oh, Benefit. Do I have time to do Benefit? I really have been talking for a good. Let me know if you want like a part 2. and I'll do it in that video. But like I said, there are a couple brands I feel like we could talk about, and I feel like there's a difference between doing a downfall video and like this type of video, because when I do like a downfall video, I'm talking like this is a brand where I really would not be surprised if like a month after I do the video, there's like a Becca announcement or a Revlon announcement. Those where I'm like, I really don't see it. I really don't see it for y'all. But if you guys have noticed, you'll ask me like, oh, can you do a downfall video on this type of brand? And I don't do it because I don't feel like the brand is headed toward a downfall per se. Like I feel like it's a brand, like they're maintaining, usually because they're more of a like legacy brand and they've just been around longer, so they're maintaining. So I don't necessarily see a downfall coming for them, but I do feel like they've plateaued and they just don't know what to do anymore. So like this video is more geared for that type of brand. So anyway, all of that to say, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.